So I'm basically using three different parts of my binder. I use the Z pullout for the yearly overview. I use a monthly overview, and I use a week on 2-page overview. And if you've seen my videos before, you know that I was in a pocket size Filofax before this and working with an A4 size Filofax. And I still use the A4, but not as I was using it before. It's more a repository for papers that I need for specific projects. And I only bring that with me to meetings that basically have to do with those projects. It got really heavy and really annoying to carry around. So my solution to not having the A4 with me anymore was to actually get a little notebook that fits in the front pocket of my Mulberry. It's from Siegel. I think that's a German brand, and it's called Conceptum. They're really nice. They're about €4 a book. It's a little bit expensive, but they're really nice paper. They're really nice to write on, and they fit nicely in my Mulberry. They're soft cover, so they're squishable kind of. And yeah, been using those to take my notes. And it's really nice that it just slides right in the front pocket and fits very easily in there. Otherwise, a few post-its. I don't use post-its very much. I do use the tags sometimes, so they're back here as well. And then otherwise, just a dashboard like everybody else has. And here is a good example of size difference between a pocket size Filofax and an agenda Mulberry. So the agenda from Mulberry is an A6, and a pocket size Filofax is the same as a pocket Mulberry. They have the same ring spacings. But the A6 Mulberry is not the same size as a personal, and it doesn't have the same ring spacing either. But a pocket size insert will fit through the rings of a Mulberry size A6. Obviously too small for the binder, but it will fit on the rings. And you can see here, this is the pocket size insert, how much more space you have on an A6. So the A6 is a little bit shorter and a little bit wider than a personal binder, but it's a very natural kind of feeling paper size. It's easy to write on, and the personals are just too narrow to put all the information on that I need. So this is just an overview from my last year's pocket Filofax, and I use it because it has the school dates, school holiday dates for this year, so it's still in there this year. But so this is the first of my 3 sections that I actually use in my binder, and this is the Z pullout for the year. And I run the event department with about 80 events per year and a couple of event managers. We're all running different shows and events per year, so I keep track of them through this yearly calendar, and it's by Design Made My Day. And I was just on her website today, and she doesn't have the 2019 version of this yet, but I'm hoping she will have it, and I will be getting it again. So it's just a black and white printout, prints on A4 and then gets cut to size. I just added some highlighter colors and some washi tape on the side, and that's all I need. And then for my monthly overviews, I made my own inserts. I use these for my forward planning for the year. So I have about 3 months worth of inserts, give or take, at any time. And I keep the full year of monthly overviews in my binder. So I use them for forward planning, but also to look back on important dates throughout the year when the inserts are gone. And this is one of the things that I'm going to tweak, because on the back of my inserts I had a tracker that, as you can see, didn't get used. The whole year it didn't get used, so that's one of the things that I'll be tweaking, and I'll show you that later. Another thing that I've been using this year are these leather look tabs. I really like them. They are easy to put on, and at the beginning you can kind of move them around. It took me a little while to get them all kind of in line with each other. But once they're on and once they've sat for a day or two or the glue dries, they are very stable. I haven't had a problem with them falling off, and I throw my Filofax in my purse, in my bag, and on my desk, and it's open and closed, and even fell down the stairs, 3 flights of stairs. None of them fell off. None of them have been even showing any sign of wear, but they're one use because you can't get them back off. Or I haven't tried, but no, they're stuck pretty good. So they're good for a year, but they're not that expensive anyway. So I can recommend these. I really like them, and I think they look nice, they feel nice. Yeah, and they hold up well. So getting back to the monthly overview, yeah, the tracker wasn't used, but I do like this form for the monthly overview. I just write different stuff all over. There's enough room for my planning. So, and then moving on to the weeklies that I use this setup. Take this out. So I don't know if you can see that. I have on the right hand side, I have the weekly overview, so a week on a page. My work weeks are busy and my weekends not so busy, so that's why I set it up with the 5 full days and then the weekend shared. And then the main part of my binder is my dashboard, basically my weekly dashboard with my to-do list, my communication list, meeting preparations, and personal or meeting preparation or whatever I end up using that for. And so you can see this gets filled out every week. There's not much room left over, but it's also not too small for me. So everything gets on there. And I'd like to take this opportunity to say that I actually use my digital calendar just as much as my paper calendar. And I think most of us, at least in the corporate world, we get our meeting notifications as an email, as a calendar blocker, and they get moved around a lot. There's information, there's agendas, there's all kinds of stuff in there that you need, the meeting rooms, whatever. And I was finding in my old setup that I was constantly erasing and taking off the meetings. So I basically only use Outlook for my appointments, and that works really well for me. So on this side, I don't put appointments so much as topics and themes. For example, if clients or colleagues are visiting from another country and I don't have appointments with them, but I want to catch up with them while they're there, I'll write that down. Or if I have a major meeting coming up that I need to be thinking about the whole week, I will write that down as well. Anything that I want top of mind that I don't want to forget, or private things like this that aren't in my Outlook calendar, or if they are, I'm not necessarily looking at it on the weekend. So that's basically the system that I use. And you might be wondering what I want to tweak if it's working so well. And this system's working extremely well for me. So I'm not necessarily tweaking the system, but one of the things that I'm going to do, and I'm going to do that right now, is to get rid of half of my binder. Don't use any of it. There's lists, master lists, post-its, notes that I write down one time. I never go back to them and look again ever. So out you go. I'm not a minimalist, but my purse is really heavy and there's no need to be carrying around all that stuff. Yeah, my niece drew me pictures for Christmas. They're still in there too. So I have my stamps and I have some receipts that I need to keep on me. So I'll keep those in there. But other than that, I've just halved my binder. One of the other things that I'm tweaking is, well, I have about 3 binders going at any one time with journaling and personal goals, goal setting, that kind of stuff. And what I notice is that I start all gung-ho, ready to do all these cool things, and I fill it out, and it's probably my favorite part of having Filofax is filling it out, and I think most people can relate to that. but then you don't go back to it. And I put them on a shelf and I think about it once every few months and take it out and look and notice I haven't been working on it. And so it kind of gets lost. And so I was thinking today, what parts of the system do I really like and what do I think I should have on me during my scheduling and organizing sessions that I do a couple of times a week. One of the things that I liked and that I'm going to do is a goal setting sheet. So I just made this today. I printed it on A5, which is the nice thing about A6. You print on A5 and you cut in half, or you can fold it. This is an overview for half year 1. And then I'll just put in any goals that I have for the first half year, break them down into Q1, Q2, and then I can break these goals down into monthly goals. And while I'm planning and going through my monthly overviews, I can then just refer back to these quickly and see if I'm on track, if I'm still going the right way, if my goal setting was going in the right direction, or if I need to regroup and reconsider. So I'm going to fill this out. I'm probably going to make another one for myself for the rest of this year, for Q4 2018, and have it just in my binder for reference. So I'm going to put that in. I'm just going to put it right here. I think that is going to be very handy for me. And finally, in my planner that I use day in, day out, and not stuck somewhere in a beautiful A5 Filofax because I didn't think I could do it in an A6 size. I think that's going to work out just great. So another thing that I am changing up, as I said before, I have these overviews and I love them. I don't want to change that, but the back is kind of wasted. So I tried tracking. It doesn't work. I don't keep up with it. I don't know why, but I think it could be because I'm not referring back to these monthly sheets often. So going back to that idea, looking over the things that I use in the other binders that I refer to sporadically, I made myself new monthly overviews, and I'll be using them starting September, so starting next month. And here I have the monthly overview. I made them pullouts, and I put here my focus and my motto, my goal for the month, a skill I'd like to learn, and then a small tracker that I hopefully will be using more because I should be referring back to this more often. So I'm quite busy. I work about 55 hours a week on a slow week, and I'm studying for my master's degree part-time and just in the process of finishing up my thesis. So in the middle of September, when I have to hand in my thesis, I should be having more free time, and I plan to use this time wisely because it's been a long 2 years studying, and I'm so glad to be finally done. And what I really have noticed is missing in my life is balance. I work all the time. I neglect my friends badly, and I somewhat neglect my family. So my focus going forward is going to be on balancing my work and my life. I love to work, I love my job, but there's more to life than that. So on the back side of these, I have made a work-life balance sheet. So I'm tracking my daily tasks that I do every day anyways, or should be doing. And then what I called here real life. So I want to do something fun every day, and even if it's just 5 minutes of being silly. I want to have movement every day, whether it's a 10-minute walk or an hour run or whatever. I want to read, I want to listen to music, and I want 10 minutes of silence a day to just shut off my brain. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but whether it's meditating or really just sitting there and just not thinking about anything, I think that's so important to be able to center yourself and come back to yourself. So those are the things that I will be focusing on. And to remind myself, I've put it into here with a tracker, and I'm going to switch out all my monthly overviews with these. So I'll be doing that later on today. And those are basically the tweaks that I'm making to my system. And you know what? That's it. That's all there is in my system. I won't have note pages anymore because I have my notebook. I'm not putting lists in there because I never look at them. I'm not keeping stuff in there just to have a stuffed binder. There's no reason for it. So that's my system for 2019 or for the rest of the year this year, and hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found some useful information in here, and if you are looking for my system, I have uploaded, or I will try to upload the files, and you're free to use them for your personal use. I'll put the link down below. Yeah, I'd love to hear how you're coming along with your systems, and if you're already thinking about 2019 and where your journey is taking you. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.